Jump off that exhausting hamster wheel and into balanced living with Dr. Marissa.
Promise you joy in the mystery.
Dr. Marissa, also known as the Asian Oprah. Her mission, to be a beneficial presence on the planet. Her purpose, to be your personal advocate to live, laugh, love, learn. Her life motto, don't die wondering. Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And welcome. You are tuned in to Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, NBC News Radio, AM 1050, FM 102.3, FM 106.5, and streaming everywhere. iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, Spreaker, Amazon Music, Audible, and more, because I want as much splatter zone possible in giving you more hope and happiness. And today is October 21st. It is Apple Day. So there's I have great memories of apples. I actually grew up in Kitchener-Waterloo, Ontario, Canada, for those of you who are new to the show and new to my life. And one of my favorite memories as a child is we would go to apple farms and pick them and always eat too many apples off of the tree. And then you know what happens. But I love apples. So this is like a reminder of my home that I was born in Canada. What other day is it today? It is also National Pumpkin Cheesecake Day. So in celebrating the deliciousness of life, you have my permission to have pumpkin cheesecake. And my favorite cheesecake, of course, I need to go and tell them I'm giving them a commercial. The Cheesecake Factory white chocolate raspberry truffle cheesecake. So if you really want a great cheesecake, that's where you go and get it, according to me. It is also National Reptile Awareness Day. We're not going to touch that one. And that is it for October 21st. And for those of you who are educators, I want to invite you personally to a place that I'm going to keynote. I am the final keynote speaker after really fascinating speakers, including Netflix investigator, scientists, and more. And we're all women, which is kind of cool. Those of you who tuned into my show and interview with Glennon, who is one of the organizers of this year's STEAMCalifornia.org, is where you get the tickets. It's I think it's a little over $200 for a ticket. You can use your travel and education budget if you are an educator. Even if you're not an educator, you can use someone else's budget to go. And if you use the promo code HAPPY88, you actually get $88 off, which was very kind of them to do. So I'm inviting all of you to this virtual Thursday, Friday, Saturday conference online. There's no reason not to go. Go to steamcalifornia.org. Get those tickets today. And you know that I get to go on location as a beat reporter and cover news. And sometimes when I find them meeting Dr. Marissa's balancing out the bad news with good news, I bring it to you. And today it is a story that is remedying the areas of discrimination in our past and holding people's feet to the fire. I was at the Netflix headquarters in Hollywood, California, and there is a little fury over Dave Chappelle and his jokes and his disrespect of Black trans, as well as Netflix not really responding fully. So I was there and got a soundbite with people who are concerned, as well as getting caught in the middle of the actual protest, because there were some who really just don't get it. And they were continuing to call this a cancel culture and overreaction to joking. But I love the sign that said hate is not funny. And I got to meet Ashlee Marie Preston. She's an American media personality, journalist, and activist. She's the first trans woman to become editor-in-chief of a national publication, Wear Your Voice magazine, and the first openly trans person to run for state office in California. And she was there organizing this particular rally and helped me understand that there's actually a gag order on all Netflix employees. One has already been fired. I totally support her efforts. I asked her what she wanted, and it's not Dave Chappelle to resign or to cancel the show, but it's to have a further conversation so that the diversity that is not being valued all the way around in this particular instance can have no place to grow roots again. So, you know me, I'm a diversity consultant. I am totally a systems theorist. I am an organizational psychologist. I've done 20 years of work in valuing diversity. I think that it's one of the most important things that we can do, especially in this generation, to move that needle from what it was to where we want it to be, which is valuing all diversity, regardless of all differences and including all differences. So it was a great story for me to be at, knowing that people like Ashlee Marie are using their platform and their voice to look at the systems. It's a systems issue. We have to change the processes inside the organization that allow for discrimination to happen. Discrimination and prejudice, even amongst comedians. So it is possible to be funny without hating people. And that's the kind of comedy that I fully endorse. So have a listen.
Dave's a very funny guy. I like his jokes. I like Dave. I like Dave. I like him. I like his jokes. I'm in charge of the protest now. I'm in charge. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Woo! Woo! I got a stick. Jokes matter. Jokes matter. Jokes matter. Jokes matter. Jokes matter.
Ever put in positions of power and leadership to be able to continue guiding that corporate culture forward. And so what we're here to do today is underscore that while economic justice is an umbrella topic, we want to be more intentional about putting policies and guidelines in place that set us up to thrive in these institutions.
Ashlee, what did you think of Ted's latest statement?
I think it's a good opportunity to start having conversations around what repair looks like. I think that the
Good morning, this is Dr. Marissa. You know me as the Asian Oprah, reporting live in front of Netflix. And I have someone here who is not an employee, but she is standing in solidarity with the strike. Could you introduce yourself?
Sure.
And tell me why you're here.
So my name is Lily Weaver. I am union, but not a Netflix employee, and I'm here today to show solidarity and to stand up for Black people and Black trans people who have been harmed, who have been erased, who have been fired, and who have been ignored by Netflix leadership. Workers deserve democracy. Workers deserve to be heard and taken seriously when they complain about their products being harmful. It's disgraceful that the only person Netflix has fired is Black and pregnant. We need to do better. None of us are free until all of us are, and that's why I'm here today.
Beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'm delighted today. I have a great guest for you who is not only going to talk about numbers in general. He's an astronumerologist. He's also going to do my numbers when we come back here on Take My Advice. I'm Not Using It, Get Balance with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, the station that leaves no listener behind.
back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And welcome back. You are tuned into Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, NBC News Radio, AM 1050, FM 102.3, FM 106.5, and streaming everywhere. iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, Amazon Music, Audible, and more, because I want the largest possible splatter zone for more hope and happiness. So my guests and topics reflect that. Today is no exception. I have someone really special because I'm sure you've heard of astronomy. I know you've heard of numerology, but have you heard about astronumerology? It is the discovery of Jess Kalsi, a world-renowned counselor sought out by Hollywood and Bollywood stars, Silicon Valley billionaires, real estate moguls, entertainment companies, and people just like you and me. Jessie has discovered the interconnection between the planets and numbers. You can make certain assumptions about your optimum numbers that can be counter-influenced by a planet that isn't in alignment with the numbers you thought were favorable. Jessie can also predict positive or negative outcomes based on the number of your home address, your bank account, your cell phone number, the car you drive, and so on. So with that kind of a pitch from Jackie and Missy, I'm like, he's on my show. I want to know. So please welcome to the studio, Jess Kalsi.
It's absolutely fantastic to be here today. I'm so grateful. I'm so blessed, and I feel so happy to be here with you today.
Wonderful. And let's just straighten one thing out. I know you're not from Sweden. You're actually from India, right?
Yeah,
is that right. True? Awesome. I got to go to New Delhi for the first time in 2017 to the Women's Economic Forum, and got to go to the Taj Mahal, and I got an award, and I got to see students at a non-NGO school. It was a wonderful visit, but the driving was crazy.
Yeah, you better have a driver there, huh?
It was crazy. But how long have you been here? You came from...
Yeah, I've been here since 1989, so it's been a while.
So quite a while.
Yeah.
So wonderful. And you brought your unique talent, gift, and ability. So tell me, did you know you would be doing this when you were a kid?
No, not really. No, absolutely not. My upbringing was, the Indian military. My father served the Indian Air Force, and then my family, me and my brother, we joined the Indian Army, and so we spent our time there. But then, destiny, life takes you different places, and that's exactly what happened with me. And then the changing political situation in India brought me to America, and then like any new immigrant, what new immigrants go through, right? We'll have to restart again and then try to find our feet. So that's what happened.
Wonderful. And is this particular skill run in your family? How did you come across this interesting cross between astrology and numerology?
No. There's no one in my family has any interest or any knowledge about what I know. Right? I have whatever I've learned is purely based on my life experience. Astronumerology, I had some inclination towards numbers and astronumerology when I was growing up, right? I used to observe patterns, and I used to wonder, but there were times I was kind of fairly young at the time, and I didn't think much about it. But only after I came to America, when I had to, face so many challenges to restart again, is when this basic information, I had some very basic information at that time, and then I started using that to kind of open these blocks and move forward. And then I was kind of absolutely surprised and flabbergasted as I moved forward that this information was helping me in many, many mysterious ways, right? And that's how it happened. And then gradually with time, I started meeting people, and then my friends and people felt that I knew something that was valuable to them. And then gradually it kept going up and up and up. But then I was still more happier. I was a flight instructor. I used to, teach people to fly at Hayward Airport. And then I was also into real estate, as a broker selling property and things like that. But all said, I was still inclined. I was happier looking at numbers and talking to people, and is what I always wanted to do. So in about 2000, early 2000, I met this one lady, right? She actually came to consult with me, and then and as a stranger, she came to see me, and I did her numbers and all, and then she happened to call a radio station in San Francisco that was run by a lady called Bonnie Colleen, right? And that's how it all started in early 2000. And then I got into the radio station. I was the first one, and then soon after, many followed, right? So it just kept getting bigger and bigger with time. In that journey, I've had a chance to write a couple of books. I've been blessed to meet a lot of people, and I feel grateful that my information was of use to many people, right? And that's how I've ended up here today with you.
Wonderful. So I'm in a long line of radio hosts, which is good. But I am the not the last one, but I'll be the best one. How's that?
I love it. Yeah, why not?
No, you can tell I'm very humble. No, sarcasm is a service that I offer, but I actually did want to sample what you're talking about. And so are you ever wrong in your predictions?
It's not that I don't say that I know everything, right? I'm sure I must have been wrong many times, right? I'm just like anybody else, but I guess the hit rate and all the yeses are more than the nays, right? So
all right. Yeah. Well, good. Then I absolutely will continue. If you had said I'm never wrong, that would have been the end of the interview.
No, that is not true, because we are human beings, right? And
right, absolutely. Yeah. Well, this is cool. So, how do you want to start?
Yeah, we can talk about astronumerology, the basics of astronumerology, and just to kind of educate the public, right? And I'm sure a lot of them are already very aware of all this, but I like to talk about it a little bit, and then
please,
and then we look at your numbers too. Like I believe
yes, absolutely.
So basic numerology, we all know that basic numerology goes from number 1 to number 9, and there are many schools of numerology. There's something practiced by the Greeks, the East Indians, the Hebrews, and then some system here in North America. So the different codes of numbers is what is used many places. But I use the Chaldean code, right? The Vedic code is different than what the Pythagorean code or the Greek code or what is used in North America. So what it is that the basic numerology 1 to number 9 is associated with planetary energies, right? So, for example, number 1 has the energy of Sun, and number 6 is Venus, and number 9 is Mars, or 5 is Mercury, or 7 is Neptune. So it's like that. It's association with 9 planets and 9 basic numbers, and then the rest is repetition. So see, there are many planets, right, which are kind of contradictory. Say, for example, the number 1, which is Sun, and the number 8, right? 1 and 8, right, are contradictory planets. Now, what happens is, say, for example, if someone is living in a house number 18, right, 18, 108, 180, things like that. So the energy of number 1 and 8 kind of kicks in, right, which is contradictory, challenging, which brings in things like cuts, injuries, accidents, family quarrel, legal trouble, separation. Whole bunch of stuff will come on that number 18. But what happens is, on the other side, if you are, say, in the law enforcement, or if you're working in the medical field, or things like that, you will be successful professionally, but still there will be challenges personally, right? So that's one example, of how they work. Now, I'll give you another example of number 5 and number 9, right? Number 5 is Mercury, which is fast moving, right? It's a quick planet. And number 9 is Mars. So 5 and 9 are kind of colliding numbers, right? They always, jump against each other. So say, for example, if you have a date of birth, which is a number 9, and you choose to live in a house number 5, there'll be a lot of instability all the time. You'll never find your feet, right? And then going back, just another one is number 8, right? I mean, you know number 8 better than anybody else. Number 8 is so popular. People write number 8s in their wallets, and I've all kinds of people I meet with number 8s, right? But the Vedic tradition has a different angle to number 8 as well. So, number 8 represents the energy of planet Saturn. Saturn is it represents big corporations, and it represents big money. But at the same time, Saturn is a cold planet, right? It's cold. And it pretty much gets activated in the colder months, right? The middle of December and onwards, right? So that's how it goes. So just using number 8, If you tell me, hey, Jesse, write number 8 on your wallet will bring you money, I'll never do that. Why? Because it doesn't work with me. My numbers are basically April the 3rd. I'm happy with number 3 and 9, and that's how I have fine-tuned my life. Now, why? Because though that is my code, and yours would be different, right? So based on your date of birth. So that's how we look at all these numbers. Based on your date of birth. So that's how we look at all these numbers. Now, 5 and 8, again, it has a magical connection. Number 5 and number 8. Yeah.
Talk to me about Mercury retrograde. So this is something that even people who don't believe in planets, they've heard of that expression. Oh, Mercury is in retrograde. What does that mean to you?
Well, I've lived in the States here for a long time now, so we've done a lot of Mercury retrograding in the past, and it's definitely a time, that is not a good time to start anything new, sign on a contract, and things like that. But which I do all the time. But then at the same time, I've seen during Mercury retrogrades, things from the past, whatever was started in the past does complete in this time. It's also a time of completion for previous past projects, right? But I absolutely do believe in Mercury retrograde, and I've had experiences in the past where I spent money and bought things, and I traveled one time, and then I knew what happened in that Mercury retrograde. So I'm very cautious, very careful, because I've experienced it. It's not. I'm saying
so it's not a good time to start things. It's not a good time to travel. Okay, so what's your definition of Mercury retrograde? When does that happen?
Mercury retrograde typically, is like 3 times a year. Comes about 3 times. Yeah, it comes about 3 times a year, and anybody can check them on the calendars, right? When
okay. So So how does COVID figure into all of these numbers?
Okay, now COVID-19 has the energy of more Uranus, and I've mentioned this in my book as well. See, this is the number 4, right? So now what happens is, as number 4 and 2021 are kind of neutral, right? It's like finding answers and running everywhere and all that is happening. But then as we get into the next year, which is 2022, right? It has moon thrice. It's more Venus 6 energy, and so what happens is the number 4, which is COVID, right, and the number 6, so they're not good together. Right, so there'll still be a lot of confusion, right? There'll be, I feel.
When will the confusion be over?
I feel more in the last quarter of 2022, right? It's about that time when there'll be a better grip on this. You know how it is? It'll be gripped completely. It'll be controlled in a very big way, is what I feel numerologically.
Before we get into that, this is all super fascinating, and I can't wait to get to my personal numbers, but we do have to take a break for the news. But if you're wondering who I'm talking to, his name is Jesse Kalsi, and he is a astronumerologist, and he is going to come back, tell us a little more about this fascinating, I don't know if it's a science or what we can call it, but he's going to actually look at my numbers. So stay tuned. Don't go away to take my advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on NBC News Radio, KCAA, the station that leaves no listener behind.
Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And we're back. You're tuned into Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on NBC News Radio, CNBC News Radio, NBC Sports Radio, KCAA, AM 1050, FM 102.3, FM 106.5, and streaming everywhere, including my YouTube channel. If you free subscribe there, you will get the notification at 8 a.m. every weekday morning that this show about hope and happiness is about to drop. You'll also be able to access all of my 500 and I can't remember now. I think we're at 559 shows over a 489 consecutive week period. I haven't been doing this for very long. Can you tell that I hate it? But you can get those interviews along with my red carpet interviews with Halle Berry, John Travolta, and Quincy Jones, and so on. And today I am delighted to have a guest in studio who is an expert in something I've never heard of before, who is going to actually look at my numbers. He's an astronumerologist. His name is Jess Kalsi, and he's coming here from the States, even though you'll notice that he wasn't originally from here. He's from India, but he's here helping all kinds of actors and actresses in Hollywood and Bollywood with their numbers. And now he gets to work with Dr. Marissa, the Asian Oprah, to see what my numbers tell me about my life, my professional life, and my love life. Please welcome back Jess Kalsi. All right. So I want to make sure that we have time. So I'm going to have you jump into my numbers so that you can describe more of what's going on using specific numbers. So the first thing I'm going to ask you, what was interesting that was a little bit disturbing because as you said, 8's my lucky number. It's a homonym in Chinese for good fortune. And 58, which is, you said, a good number, is actually a bad number in Chinese. So 5 is not, and 8 is good fortune. So you put 58 together, it's not good fortune. So I'm going to ask you, is this affected by, because I don't use the Vedic system and I am Chinese, is it okay to use 58 or not okay to use 58?
Now, see, 5 and 8. So what I was trying to say is, 5 and 8 is like, I'll give you an example. Like if you saw this gentleman, this NBA star who played for the Chicago Bulls, right? I need to pull his name up here. Michael Jordan, right? So so if you look at his date of birth, he had a 17th on a date of birth, and he had a jersey number 23, right? So I'm trying to talk about something like that, a number 8 and a 23, how they poured, how it is, how they poured to, create magic, right? Is what it is.
Right.
So let's look at, so what day and month are you born? So we'll look at your numbers quickly.
So 8/10, I was born August 10th.
Okay, so August 10th. So August is,
yes.
So 8 months, you're August 10. Okay. And so August 10th, so what happens is it's a Leo. So you got a lot of, sun energies. You got sun twice, and no wonder you're the Asian Oprah, because the sun is shining on you all the time, right? So that's it's there. And August the 10th, if you look at your numbers, so sun and moon. So sun and moon is yin and yang as father and son. So it's very compatible, right? It's very, very compatible. Your name has a lot of Jupiter energy. I had a quick look, but when we took a break here. So Dr. Marissa is your popular name, and that carries the energy of Jupiter. And Jupiter has many vibrations, but the 2-1 Jupiter is very powerful, right? So that's really, really good. So you have very powerful numbers, very, very powerful numbers. Yin and yang moon, a white pearl could also benefit you, I mean,
white.
I really like white pearls. Pearl,
Ah. Okay.
White
I love pearls.
White pearl around the neck.
It's interesting. You could, I'm almost wearing a yin yang dress, right? And I have that white. Yeah. So, okay. That's cool. That's cool.
But the energy is pretty unstoppable. It is excellent for media, right? For the kind of work you do. And I don't know what is so. I mean, I don't know if it is okay to ask the number of your house. In this interview.
Yes, please. Yes. So the street is 1900.
And what is?
And then my suite is 1106.
So 1106. So see, 1106 has got sun twice, right? And 1106. Okay, now so I think you chose this number because it is in the 8, right? Did you add it up and said, "Oh, number 8"?
I did not do it on purpose, but after I was assigned to this, I added and went, woohoo, it's 8. So, yes.
So now let me tell you one thing here. So with this energy, what I'd suggest is you already have a number. So 1 and 2 are your numbers anyway. So you got 2 number 1s, 1 amplified of the 6. Now what happens is the number 1, which is Sun, and the number 6, which is Venus, right? They are kind of they collide. That energy is colliding energy, right? So what I would suggest is that if you could use a number 2, which is your number, right? That's your basic code. And 1 is your number 2. So if you could use a small number 2 between the 2 1s, like a small sticker, to shift the vibe, to match more sun energy, I think that would definitely create a powerful shift for you. This number as of now is it's a little block, it's like tripping you a little bit here.
Oh, where I'm living?
Yeah, this 1106.
So the 1106 is blocking. So if I put a little sticker of a 2
between the two ones.
So in my door where the number is.
Yes, wherever the numbers show, right? You get a small number 2 sticker, and should be yellow or golden color, and break the energy of the 2 number 1s there. So two in the middle there, and then 1, 2, 1, and then 0, 6. So that moon will shift the sun, it'll sun and moon gets more compatible, and then moon flows with Venus anyway, and the total combination is the day you're born, right? So that'll further make you even the sun's going to shine more brightly on you.
Well, there's going to be people going, no, we don't want any more sun. I have a friend who says, you just know, I don't even have to see you. I can feel you walk into a room. Yeah. It's so funny. He said that.
So bright. Yeah. The energy is so
yeah. So what do you mean my number is 1 or 2?
The basic energies, right? So number 1 is good for you. Number 1, 10, 19, 37. And then number 2 by itself will work for you. And then 11, I'm not very fond of number 11. Because 11 creates relationship challenges. It creates sometimes.
Well, there you go. That explains everything. So it's because of my 11 that I have relationship challenges. Is that what you're telling me?
Absolutely, yeah. 11 does it.
So I have to go walk around and stick a sticker 2 in between every 11 that I see. Is that what you're telling me?
No. If you can just fix your place, that is all you need to do. Yeah.
Oh, that's it? And then all my relationships will fall into place?
There'll be a shift, definitely.
Really? Okay. Yeah. Because I have great relationships with a handful of people that I love, and they love me. But new relationships and romantic relationships are a whole new ball game. So
that's what you're talking about, the romantic stuff,
Right. So if I walk around with a 2 yellow or gold sticker and stick it on the forehead of someone who's cute, is that going to get me to where
what I suggest is, use some white, get a nice set of white pearls around your neck, white pearls,
Okay.
Pearls also pick your vibe up, that'll be really good too for you. Right.
Interesting. Yeah. What about a pearl ring? Does it have to? I rarely wear necklaces.
Yeah, pearl ring would be great too, but pearl's always worn in silver or some white metal. It's kind of cold energy, right? So traditionally, East Indian people will wear pearls as pinky fingers, and right or left pinky fingers, and and the energy of a white pearl flows great in the silver ring there.
So, and a pearl, you're giving me an excuse to go shopping for jewelry. You understand that, right? So a silver pinky ring with a pearl is going to balance me out for too much sun. Is that what we're saying?
That is yin and yang, exactly.
Okay, right. So sort of balance out or chill out the intensity of the sun.
Hey, there you go. You got it. Yeah.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay.
Harmony.
So are you saying that my sunniness is too much for a romantic relationship?
Yeah, you kind of scare people. They're kind of intimidated by your aura.
So, but see, Dr. Pat Allen said similar. She said I had to downplay who I was. Are you asking me to downplay who I am, or are you just saying the number on my door and the pinky ring?
No, those are definite things to do. Well, let me tell you something else. See, the energy of number 1, sun energy, the number 1, always is very compatible with the number 1. So if you find people, right, or relationships who have a lot of sun energy, sun, of course, they'll have to be famous people, right? But 1 is always very good with 1. So just remember that will always be helpful for you. So.
Okay. But how do I find people who are a 1? I have to ask them what day and month they were born?
No, the date of birth, basically. We primarily look at the date of birth, right? So you are more like a 10, right? So you and 10, and then Leo is the sun. So your sun is very intensified, right? So
Right.
yeah. So
So if someone is a 10, or sorry, a 913.
see, okay, now 13 again, it is very interesting, that you said that. So number 30, so the number 4, right, which most people, from China, and they don't like the number 4, but
Right.
number 1 and number 4 are like mirror images, so the number 1 and the number 4 also get along very well. So for you, I'd say the number 1 and also the number 4, they would basically, just connect really well. So observe this a little more, as you meet friends and people, right? And look at that.
So you're adding the numbers of the day. So my daughter is 913. That's who I was asking about. So 913. She's
September.
the one that I don't get along with easily. She's as strong as I am.
Yeah, but she has sun too. She has sun and Mercury as well. So she uses her head too.
Okay. What about 1019?
And 1019 is October the 19th. It's kind of interesting. There's so many. So 1019 is pretty is mystical. It's got 2 and 7. It's very intuitive energy.
That's like, my younger daughter, and that you just described her perfectly.
Yeah. So if you need to ever ask her, if she ever tells you something, or suddenly something comes out of her, just listen to her. She'll give you the right answer. Oh,
she's going to love this.
For you. Yeah.
She's going to love this. So, but you don't see conflict between 810 myself and 913?
No, not really. No, it's just like
no. Okay. No. All right. So I just have to put a little 2 on her forehead, and then we'll be good.
No, she don't need a number 2. No.
She doesn't need a number 2. I'm the only one that needs the number 2.
On your door, yeah.
On my door. So and my pearls.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Now, what about my phone number? Do you need all the numbers?
Yeah, phone. We need all the numbers. Would you like to give that on the air, or we could do it otherwise?
I will chat it to you so that that way you can see it, and we don't have everybody, all 160,000 every 15 minutes on the show calling me. How's that?
Yeah,
there we go. I'm going to chat that to you. There's the phone number.
Okay, so we got that here. So we will look at this. So
yeah, and while you do that, I'll give a station ID. If you've just tuned in and you're wondering who this very interesting analysis guy on my show is, his name is Jess Kalsi. He is an Astronumerologist. I said it right the first time. But he's here helping me understand why I have difficulty with romantic relationships, how to remedy that because of my numbers. And he can do the same for you. I'm going to ask him how people can contact him. And he has several books out. So I'm sure if you Googled Jesse Kalsi, Jessekalsi, you'll be able to find him. But your website is also your name?
That is correct.
Oh, so that's easy. So you can find him. And as I'm stalling for time, what he's doing, if you've just tuned in, is he's looking at my phone number, adding up the numbers, and now going to do some fortune telling around my numbers.
Really? No, so we have your numbers here. So I'm not a fortune teller, but I'm just looking at numbers.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I know. So so now, so what we have is we have Mercury in the beginning. The Mercury is communication, is people wanting to talk to you. Then we got Saturn right in the middle of it. So Saturn twice is really good too. And then we have Neptune in the end, and we got Mars for more energy. And we also have Venus. Venus is big names that contact you. So on a scale of 1 to 10, I say this is a pretty high vibe. I'd say it's about almost 78%. It's a good phone number.
Oh, okay. Yeah, great. So I should keep the number. Keep the number.
It's a good number. So good people call here. You get good people calling this number.
That's true. I called you and you called me today. There you go. So have you been with people who have a bad phone number and you tell them to get a new number and then something good happen?
All the time, yeah, and all the time. A lot of celebrities in the film industry in India, call me all the time, and numbers. And this kind of keeps going on a daily basis, right? So,
Wow, that's cool. One of my favorite actors is the guy that has something a little wrong with his hand, and I forgot his name. Do you know who I'm talking about? He's in a lot of action movies, and he always hides his hand because he has an extra finger.
Uh-huh.
Do you not heard of him?
Oh, that gentleman, are you talking about a Bollywood actor?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, his name is Hrithik Roshan.
Okay. Yeah, I'm glad you said that. I can't say that, but he's a fabulous actor. And you work with him?
No, I've actually I've had more women calling me than men, right? So I had one guy, but more of my clients are actresses, So I think
okay.
I had just
interesting.
One the other day, yeah, well, they're pretty big names, but I think women are more sensitive, they're more like just the other day I had this one gal, she made a video for me as well. I've posted it on my YouTube channel. She's a very big name, Padmani Kolhapuri. And then so she wanted to do my video, and then suddenly she came from a shoot someplace, emailing me, talk to me now. So she said, I had this dream, and she's working for some project with Hotstar and Disney, and she says, my name, I'm initial, and I'm feeling I should, tell me. So once we looked at that, and then she was satisfied. She said, oh, I'm going to use this name now. So that's how it goes.
Interesting. So, okay. So you looked up Dr. Marissa, right?
Yeah,
so what can you tell me about the fact, and not everybody knows this, I actually changed my name. So my given name when I was born was Maria. And I came from a very difficult past as a child, which I talk about in my book, and what people know me as being able to choose happiness no matter what your background is, no matter what you've gone through as a child. So I sort of gave that away, but is there any differth? Because I chose the name myself.
Maria?
Marissa. So I was birthed as Maria. And my middle initials for my Chinese name is YF Yen Feng. So it's YENFENG and then Pei. So I went from Maria Yen Feng Pei to Dr. Marissa.
Yeah.
So I chose Marissa when I started modeling because Marissa is a little more unusual than Maria.
Yeah.
And so that's why I changed it.
That was a good thing you did. What? I'll tell you why. Because see, Maria, Maria is how you wrote it? Maria?
Yes.
Maria, okay. So Maria, if you see 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, so Mars. So Mars energy, collides with Sun. They're two very hot planets. So 9 is not your number. See? 9 will not work. So 9 is conflict. It's Mars energy. Mars does cuts, injuries, accidents, and a whole bunch of stuff. Challenging situations came with Maria. But then when you change your name to Marissa, so Marissa from there switched to Venus energy. Venus, right? Venus is money and beauty and film actors and stars, and you named so many famous people, right? So Venus is about beauty and money and the film industry, right? And all your big contacts is so. However that name came to you, I don't know where. Just God just gave it to you, or intuitively it came to you, but that was the right name for you. It's very
interesting.
Very
interesting. Okay, so I'm going to ask you a bigger question, which is, anybody who believes in predestiny or these things are all predestined and created for you. Is it possible that you may have a name that is Mars and Calamity, and you choose not to have Mars and Calamity?
Yeah, it happens all the time. People go through different circumstances, right? And and many just continue with what they have. Many certainly change, right? But I do believe in one thing, that everything is coming from the universe, right? And they are guiding us. Like today, I'm talking to you, right? And I know that it's my time with you today because the universe set it up, right? You know how it is. So. And then we had to look at your numbers, and I had to give you my take on it, and then you had to listen to it, right? So I believe in that energy, huge. I absolutely believe in God and, faith. And I just believe that whatever I have to do or whoever has to come to me, right, will come at the right time, So I believe in that completely. And
Interesting.
whatever little I know, right, I just feel that I'm blessed to know that, right? And I'm always blessed that, people come to me, or whatever little I know, I share with them, and it is of use to them, and that is a big blessing, and I'm very grateful for that. I'm very grateful.
Right. Great. In fact, that's actually the last thing that I always ask my guests, which is, to who and what are you grateful for? So that was a perfect segue. To who or what are you most grateful for? I ask all my guests that at the end of the show.
Honestly, I'm grateful to God. I'm grateful to my ancestors. All the people who went before me. Who help me on a daily basis. And I'm absolutely helpful to the Creator. I've just learned one thing. Each day I start my day. I get up in the morning. I say I am grateful 9 times. And when I'm driving in my car, if things keep happening, I keep saying I'm grateful, I'm grateful, I'm grateful, I'm grateful. And that's what I learned over the years. I guess that is the greatest mantra, right? Gratitude is the greatest mantra. You have to be thankful, and I'm so grateful that I'm with you today, and then you give me a chance to be with you and chat with you. It was really wonderful. I'm very grateful.
Of course. How do people get your book?
Oh, so my book, All About Numbers, is available on Amazon, or they can also get it through my website, which is jessekalsi.com. And
perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, it's been a pleasure talking to you, and your mantra in the morning is very similar to mine. I do 8 gratitudes every morning.
Lovely.
And 8 appreciations every night. I call it take a bite of my gratitude sandwich. So that is how that's how we both roll. So definitely aligned with your energy there. Thank you so much for coming on to the show. And I wish you the very best. If you want Jesse's book, you go to jessekalbi.com, or you go on Amazon and find All About Numbers. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And this is Dr. Marissa reporting live from my living room during the pandemic, reminding you that it's all about balance. Peace in, peace out, world peace through inner peace. Have the best weekend ever. Have the best day ever.